Speaking of spoiled podcast princesses, this is the premier podcastress.
There's a $20 super chat there.
Oh, from Patriot American. He said they literally touched on racism in The Blind Side during the football game scene. These people are so crazy and obsessed with creating drama and chaos among the masses. I miss the days before all this craziness started.
Me too, brother. Me too. It is a depressing world we live in these days.
Anyway, back to Bobbi Althoff. She is the premier podcastress of what is called the Really Good podcast. It started only 2 months ago, and somehow she managed to get big name guests almost instantly. So she's had on so far Lil Yachty, Drake, Mark Cuban, among other celebrities. She went from being a momfluencer, which is cringe, to being one of the biggest podcasters on the scene right now. And basically she's getting accused of being an industry plant. What do you think of accusations of being an industry plant? Like, do they have any merit? Is anyone not an industry plant at this point? That's my question.
Well, here's the question I have. What is the difference between, an industry plant and a Nepo baby? Like, well, in reality, like if we're talking
there's
about
overlap
nepotism
on that Venn diagram. It's almost a circle.
Nepotism doesn't just mean family. Nepotism just means like you got there by the grace of somebody you know getting you the job, right? You have the right connections. Hollywood is all about connections. It's far more who you know than it is what you know in a lot of cases, right? Like, especially in a subjective field like Hollywood, which is all about like, at the end of the day, sure, half the people might hate your performance in a movie, but it's still subjective. Other people might like it, and that's all the excuse they need to hire just the people that they like. Maybe not for the lead roles, but for the rest of the roles, they can absolutely afford to just hire their buds.
Yeah, that happens.
And we let it go. Look, I have no problem with like Adam Sandler hiring the homies for his movies.
His daughters for the Netflix movie.
I don't care. Adam Sandler rules. He gets a pass.
It does seem like it's probably going to be funny.
And most of his friends are talented, so it's okay.
Well, Bobbi Althoff has decided to hit back at the accusations of being an industry plant. Yeah. The biggest question here is, how the F did you get Drake to guest on your podcast a month after you launched it? Like, that just it seems like you did some kind of weird satanic ritual to get that reward in Hollywood. It seems like you were doing some black magic, or you were connected to somebody who knows Drake, or your father was in the industry, blah, blah, blah.
I also want to point out, like in the Me Too era that we live in, doing a podcast where you just lay in a bed together sounds like a huge risk.
Okay, guys, if you don't understand, I'm going to try to explain the appeal of her podcast to you. I don't get it. I don't get the appeal at all. I don't find it funny or entertaining, and I can't believe that someone watched 2 hours of this. But basically, she's trying to be Gen Z's Aubrey Plaza. Like, dry humor, forced awkwardness, long pauses. It's sort of like Z-Way.
There's a $20 one there from Mikey.
He said, K-drama, Bollywood, and anime are my entertainment besides YouTube.
It's really funny. YouTube, like, because like we do this for work, I don't really watch much YouTube anymore. Like I'm kind of like
I do.
I'm kind of like the nut job with the green hair. It's all about comfort shows for me. I watch, like I said, I was watching old episodes of Justified last night, and that's just fine with me. Anything prior to 2016 is golden as far as I'm concerned.
I'm more on podcasts than anything, I think. But that's just because I can do other things while I listen to it. I guess we should show the video of like a clip of her with Drake in the interview. They literally did an interview sitting in a bed together. Now, granted, they weren't sitting next to each other. Like, they weren't close.
The 28-second one here?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let's watch this.
Am I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you.
It's so uncomfortable and stupid.
Like I'd do it. There's you
not an it.
I know. I just felt like,
who watches this?
You do it.
For 2 hours.
I asked, am I your type? And you said I do it. It's not funny. Am I your type?
That's literally the worst type
Just
of humor I've ever
imagine
heard.
that stretching
Thank
on
you,
for
guys.
like 2 hours or 3 hours.
Oh, that was
And
awful.
that is her podcast. I don't get it.
It's party time.
Andrina says the camera quality is trash. That's not trash. What it is, Andrina, is that this podcast, this episode, has been pulled down. So what you're looking at is
Right.
like downloaded clips,
So
reposted.
everyone was asking, how did Bobbi Althoff get Drake on the podcast? Her explanation is that she would post a TikTok video saying she would pay someone $300 to successfully connect her to a celebrity for an episode on her podcast. So this worked a few different times, and very quickly Drake saw one of her clips, liked it, and then she DM'd him, and he immediately agreed to be on her podcast. Sounds like just a very lucky coincidence, but now they have fallen out.
And they've
they've
blocked each
unfollowed.
other.
It appears that they've blocked each other on social media, and it also appears that she has deleted the episode of their interview, which kind of jump-started her career. And people are wondering what happened. There are allegations that Drake propositioned Bobbi Althoff off camera.
I don't buy that for a second.
And she is a married woman.
So he's like,
a mother of two at 26 years old.
He's like,
by
are
the
you the
way."
throat goat? And she's like,
And she was like, I don't appreciate that. That's the allegation. No proof for it, though, by the way. So she's deleted that episode, so even more people are talking about it. She also had Mark Cuban on her show and asked him to give her $20,000. Let's play that clip.
hold on.
They're also sitting on the floor, which I don't understand.
Not in the Mark Cuban one, is it?
Yeah.
Is it this one? Hold on. Is it that one?
No, Mark Cuban.
Is it-
She asks Mark Cuban
Is it this
for
one?
$20,000.
I just think that you should give me
This one? Okay, here we go.
I just think that you should give me $20,000.
I mean, I could,
I know you could.
but it was just at a bad example.
What? Because other people would ask you for
Yeah,
20,000.
every podcaster on the planet.
Okay, let's
would.
just say right now on the record, no, he's not going to be giving me any money. Okay, and then off the record, can you give me $20,000?
Like, under the table. Like,
Yeah,
you really think I'm an under the table guy?
This is an insufferable.
but please,
No,
Like, this isn't cool. This is lame.
10,000.
no.
I just think that you should give.
Okay.
Is that like supposed to be haha funny? I'm sorry. I'm not like I just don't trust anyone that watches 2 hours of that
Yeah.
continuing.
Yeah.
And why did Mark Cuban go on the podcast? Doesn't he not like have better things to do with his
Yeah.
life?
It's kind of weird to think like so you think she's an industry plant? Like what does that mean?
I mean, I don't think she is actually.
Because she's actually leaned into that now. She's like releasing TikToks and videos where she talks about.
She's
bragging
leaning
about
into the
being-
accusation to kind of make fun of it. But I think she got this offer from the same talent agency that Drake is managed by because of her interview with Drake.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could make the argument. Look,
She doesn't seem to know anybody, you know?
I mean, that's fine. Like that. I just think it's bad. Like that's happened here. Like we've had people on the show that we wouldn't have gotten
If
it wasn't
anything,
for Tim.
like it's not calling her an industry plant. It's just like the fact that a lot of people don't know how quickly people can blow up on the internet now. You know, like maybe she's just a flash in the pan. Maybe she'll become a household name. Who knows?
I just
But
find it unbelievably.
I just can't believe this mediocrity is being propped up right now.
It's just to me.
Like
it's
she's
just
getting millions and millions of views.
makes you wonder where they come from, right?
This is how you know NPCs are real. Like
Yeah.
this is not funny or entertaining. Especially, I mean, it's fine if it's a 30-second clip, whatever. But this goes on for hours and people watch the entire thing.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, a lot
I feel
of
like
it's-
I'm like on a different planet than these people.
I think it's also like a lot of it's born out of like the reality TV era, which is like the awkward silences.
I like reality
pauses.
TV. I don't like whatever this is.
Yeah.
Also, she admits that this is a character. She's done interviews out of character. I wanted to show some of the clips from her interview with Dave Portnoy.
Is that this one?
Yeah,
The BFFs. That one.
yeah.
All right, here we go.
Your interviews, are they all off, like you do basic research and off the cuff? Like, how's that work?
By basic research, about like 10 minutes before the interview. I Googled him and I
Literally
write.
that close.
I swear I did like Mark Cuban. I saw on the picture right there.
Yeah,
I did that. Like
we've interviewed Cuban.
He was doing. I was doing my makeup.
Dave
and I
Portnoy
was
is like
oh
coping.
God,
Like,
I
we've
should, like,
interviewed
prepare
him.
for this. And then I was like, okay, like what do I do? And then I was like, oh, he. Like I forgot, like he did Shark Tank. I was like, what's his closing thing for that? Like, so that's my research. With Drake, I did about like 5 minutes of research.
So why? That's clearly a conscious move by you.
It's not supposed to be a real interview.
Right.
I'm not trying to like actually get, but then I need to have some things in case it gets really awkward and I don't know what to talk about, because that's happened to me where like I'm like, oh God, I didn't prepare at all for this, and then it's like I don't know what to ask, and you know they're not helping me with conversation, and then it's just like, okay, you can only do so much.
It's not their job to help you with the conversation. It's literally your job to be in charge of the conversation.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I know that she's not, but it's just, she's not trying to be a serious interviewer or a journalist or something like that. So I get it, but is it really a joke when you're telling Drake, like, I've never heard of any of your songs, when you actually have never heard of any of his songs?
Yeah.
And you actually don't like him?
People in the chat are currently rating her on different rating scales. I saw Miami 4, Worldwide 5.
I think she's cute. I just I don't like her personality. I don't like her personality when she's in character or when she's out of character.
It's funny too, because then like you'd think that since the interviews aren't real and she doesn't need to do real research, it would be more planned. It would actually feels like that would require more planning than less.
Yeah. Well, I guess her character that she does is like someone who is entitled and fame hungry.
People in the chat are now saying
and socially awkward.
Yes. Well, they I guess that does speak to Gen Z. Socially awkward does speak to Gen Z in a way, right? Like,
I think maybe this is just a sign that I'm aging out of understanding what's cool these days.
You hit the wall yesterday and today
but
you're aging out.
This chick is 26 and a mother of 2 and a wife. Like, I wouldn't think that she has her finger on the pulse, but apparently, like, this is what's big right now.
Yeah, people love it.
And of course, like anything else, she's getting accused of racism, guys.
But what? Why?
Drake's appearance on the Really Good podcast drew polarizing reactions from the public. Many found it hilarious, while others criticized Drake for doing an interview with a white woman and not giving the same time to black platforms. Also, one tweet said, I don't like that new interviewer popping up, Bobbi Althoff. I watched her interview with Drake, and I thought it was funny until she kept ragging on African-American vernacular English and saying it's weird and makes no sense every single time he spoke it. Cut that racism out of the bit. Another person said, Bobbi Althoff is racist, and the culture she's creating is racist. No other explanation.
Of course.
Another person said, Bobbi Althoff getting famous too fast. We all know how it goes. It's only a matter of time before that old racist tweet resurfaces out of nowhere.
People were saying the same thing about Whatever, about the Whatever podcast. Like they said, like, why did I just open up Twitter one day and there was just endless clips of Whatever?
At least that I understand the appeal of Whatever way more than I understand Bobbi Althoff.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's a hot button issue to talk about dating and feminism and gender roles right now. And the red pill movement is back. But I don't know what's so interesting about watching Drake sit in silence with a girl you've never heard of for 2 hours.
Is this the type of podcast you have to pay very close attention to or no attention to at all?
I think you have to pay closer attention to it than other podcasts.
That's what's weird about it, right?
Because it's visual. You're looking at their facial expressions. Like,
that makes it worse.
I like cringe content. This doesn't make me cringe. It just makes me yawn. It's just boring.
Yeah.
Because it's manufactured cringe. I want the real thing.
Yeah. Well, it makes me
This is an imitation meat cringe. Yeah. Another person said, Bobbi Althoff liked my recent tweet where I said her success is a slap in the face to black journalists who've been around for years with no love from big artists. Either she agrees with me or it's just another mid-white woman who's a closeted racist.
You think that's what it is?
She's a racist for being successful while some black people are not successful.
Do you think, and who's her husband again?
Nobody knows who her husband is.
But her husband's successful, right? I thought you said her husband was successful.
What did I say about him?
I thought, like, wasn't he like an investment guy or something like that? Or maybe I might be thinking of another story.
No, I mentioned that Paris Hilton's husband is a venture capitalist.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But she doesn't say anything about her husband, and she doesn't say anything or post anything about her kids.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really don't understand the internet anymore. It's officially gone past me.
It's not. I mean, I would never watch these podcasts, but they're not. I'm not the target demographic for any of these.
Am I?
You are.
I think I am, and it's just not. It's not really hitting my dopamine receptors like it's supposed to.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.